Hello, it is I, the Phantom Freak, the King of 9X, representing Dagger Mag, the exclusive home of the real news, gorefest, and the highest cut of top-tier twink tummies your gay little brain has ever seen, dude. Anyways, I've been in the process of piecing my life back together. I've been getting sober, and my brain is the brain fog has kind of been lifting. I've been thinking a lot about my past and going through all of the AA stuff, and I won't get into that, but I noticed that I spend a lot of time on Instagram, and by a lot of time I mean I check it maybe once or twice a day, but you can parse a lot of information just from that, just mindlessly going on there once or twice a day. Just for some background information, I'm 25. I graduated college in 2016, during the height of the election stuff. During that time, I deleted my Facebook account. I just it was overwhelming to me, and it was just I thought it was affecting my happiness, so I got rid of it. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have the problem that a lot of people have when they go to delete their Facebook account. Like if you talk to some people in the wild about deleting your Facebook account, they'll be like, yeah, I tried that, but 2 weeks later I logged back in, and I just couldn't do it. I just really wanted it to be able to talk to all of my friends or whatever. Yeah, since I deleted my Facebook, almost no one that I talked to exclusively through Facebook contacted me. The people that I wanted to be in my life stuck around. Everybody else just, they're in Facebook world. They don't talk to me, and I'm perfectly happy with that. That's ideal to me. So one thing that I have lost through Facebook, though, is a way to kind of keep track and keep up with a lot of the people that I went to college with, kind of seeing the trajectory of their lives, which in my opinion is a good thing. It's really not good to compare yourself to people like that. But one thing I noticed, because I still have an Instagram page, which is the subject of this video. I wanted to talk about Instagram and kind of the effect that it has on people, and also try to get a better idea of what it is. I know on Dagger forums we talk a lot about posting and the kind of psychology of posting. I was a psych major, so I kind of like that kind of stuff. But usually when we talk about posting, we're talking about forums or image boards where people are kind of I don't want to say intelligent, but they have a better understanding of internet culture. They kind of get there's a greater context there that they're kind of interacting with, and on Instagram that's really not the case. No one really knows what Instagram is. I don't even know what Instagram is, and I've been on the internet since the Something Awful days in the early 2000s. So I really don't understand it. I kind of wanted to make a video before I delete my Instagram account, just kind of trying to explain what I think it is, and kind of go in depth on a couple of posters that I went to college with, and kind of how they panned out. Because to be honest with you, most of the people that I went to college with that I follow on Instagram really aren't holding up too well, and I thought I was really messing up because but damn, I'm killing it compared to some of these people. It's really sad, but you can tell a lot. I know that Instagram, unlike Facebook, gives you kind of a narrow window of somebody's life. You really just kind of get an image and a caption. But you can still parse a lot of information from this. For example, are they smiling? Are they holding a drink in every single photo? Have they undergone significant weight fluctuations? Do they look happy? Are their eyes glassy? Do they post pictures of themselves smoking weed? Do they have pictures of their family and close friends on their Instagram page? Do they have a separate Instagram account for their dogs and or pets? Is their main page distinguishable in any way from their dog's Instagram page? If applicable, do the friends in their photos seem to change every other month? Do they have any mention of their career, work life, and any of their captions? I should note that most of the posts that I see from people that I went to college with are from women. The men in general on Instagram post far less frequently, and usually the posts kind of center around them showing the audience something that they found interesting or significant. You get a lot of photos of them with their girlfriend or something like that. Occasionally you'll get a selfie, but it's not really that common, especially when you consider there are a lot of girls that post maybe like 3 or 4 selfies to Instagram a day, which is crazy to me, but it is what it is. So there's one guy that I went to college with that does have a strong Instagram presence, and I kind of wanted to focus on him and go into detail a little bit, just because I find his posts incredibly sad and interesting. in college, this guy was engaged in most of the big social and professional groups on campus that existed outside of Greek life. So he wasn't like a frat guy. He wasn't in that kind of fraternity sort of thing. He instead was kind of the head of a couple of student groups, like the student newspaper and stuff like that. And he was a very sociable guy, very liked. Everybody seemed to like him. He had from the outside, it kind of looked like he had a lot of friends. And he was really into like BuzzFeed, that kind of stuff, like that kind of culture. I guess like the kind of new pop culture sort of thing, which is, I really have, I don't like that, but people liked him, and I figured because of that he would kind of get some sort of kind of like a bootlicking job at like Gawker or BuzzFeed or something like that. I kind of figured that was sort of going to be his trajectory because he was a good student. I don't remember what he majored in. I'm pretty sure it was English, but yeah. So outside of that, he also had a kind of a musical comedy bit, kind of like the Bo Burnham stuff, where he'd have a piano and he'd perform this on campus for a surprisingly large group of students, and they really seemed to lap it up. Like they really liked it. I always thought it was kind of uninspired and gratingly cutesy. And I think it was one of those things, like in college, people do performances for students and people like it because it's, it's something for students to do and kind of enjoy. And, it's like, oh, my friend is doing this. Like, I want to support him, which is fine. Right. But, instead of, that's fine. But, after graduating, instead of pursuing a career in journalism or media, kind of like what I thought he would do, he seemed to focus all of his efforts on this musical comedy career. And he's posted a couple of videos or songs on YouTube. Both of them are so embarrassing, I'm not going to tell you how to find them, so don't ask me. These videos got maybe like 100 views each, all of which I can only assume are friends and family that are watching the video. And so, it's not really panning out. He doesn't really seem to have a job outside of that from what I can tell on Instagram. And the other posts that he has are kind of just pictures of him smoking cigarettes, or just kind of really out-of-touch efforts to interact with social media. For an example, he recently posted something that was essentially just kind of like, this is my favorite emoji, you should consider using this emoji more this summer, this public service announcement. It's like BuzzFeed or like Huffington Post kind of like ways of interacting with social media, kind of like, I don't know how else to put it. It's kind of like, maybe like a middle-aged woman that works at like a university or something, trying to be hip with the kids, but it's kind of half-hearted, it's kind of like they're paying lip service to it, like, I'm old, teehee, look at me, kind of thing. But he's not. He's 25. The fact that he's so out of touch is kind of bizarre and kind of creepy to me, I guess. Anyways, so the rest of his pictures are kind of girly, sort of thirst traps. Where it's just kind of him wearing boxers and he's showing off his like really out of shape, kind of like quote unquote dad bod. But it's posted in a way where it's like, very serious, and it's really, I don't know, it gives me the impression, all these images and captions really give me the kind of greater image of a sad, lonely, and lost soul that was once extremely popular in the college environment but failed to make any sort of lasting or meaningful connections with anybody. I see a guy that's simultaneously self-loathing and self-obsessed. It really fucking bums me out, man, I swear to God. He looking at his pictures on Instagram makes me think of the rat utopia experiments performed by John B. Calhoun. And I'm sure that you guys, if you guys are, watching or listening to this, you kind of know what it is already, but basically what he did was he created an artificial environment for lab rats in which every base need was provided at a pretty much infinite supply. And in the experiment, the population of the rats kind of hit a peak, plateaued, and then started to slowly decline. And a lot of the male rats kind of lost interest in mating and started spending all of the days huddling in groups, grooming themselves. And Calhoun coined the term the beautiful ones for these rats. And I think this guy is essentially in our new world hellscape, bizarro world that we're living in. I think that this guy is one of those, and there are a lot of them. I mean, this guy just really stuck out to me just because I saw him as a really popular guy, and but there are other people on Instagram that post like that, and it's kind of sad. You know, so on the other end of the spectrum, you know, you get female posters, and I'm not going to go too in depth. There's one girl that I went to college with that is almost certainly a high dollar call girl, based on her posts. And it's, you know, mostly picture. It's like her like drinking expensive liquor and like getting oysters, presumably with old men, although she doesn't show them in the photos. She posts a lot of like lewd photos as well, presumably as kind of advertisements. And that's actually one of the big reasons why Instagram even exists. I mean, it's really used for the reason that Instagram exists. It's for sex trafficking, prostitution, drug trafficking. It's for all of those things. It's not for really posting memes and you know, like, oh, like, look at me, I'm so cute. Oh, I'm a dude, I'm like 27, I'm so cute. Like, it's not for that, okay? That's not what people actually use Instagram for. They use it for the down and dirty, you know, prostitution, sex trafficking, all that horrible stuff. So there's really, if you're not doing any of that stuff, there's really no reason for you to use it. It's really just depressing. It's like a weapon. You know, it's designed to demoralize you and get you to be some sort of narcissistic, self-obsessed freak. And I didn't really pay attention to my behavior going on Instagram, you know, checking it maybe once or twice a day until I got sober. And now that I have, and my brain is kind of cleared, it's really just so depressing to me, and I don't know why I'm wasting my time on there. Yeah, I'm gonna delete it. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about are, you know, I've met a couple of younger girls in their early 20s. You know, they're like 20 years old or so, and I've noticed, and this is a trend that a lot of people have discussed on the internet. You know, where kind of younger girls get paid to send nudes to presumably older men, or just like unattractive men. I mean, I guess that's the assumption, right? But you don't know. But anyways, they get paid to send nude pictures, and what I think that is, you know, that sort of behavior has been going on since the beginning of time, where kind of like an older man kind of bankrolls the partying habits of like a younger girl, a younger attractive girl. And you know, it's that has always been a transaction. Like, you know, the girls know what's going on. They're trying to, you know, go on like a yacht or something and get drunk and party or whatever. And the older guys just want to have these like hot girls around, right? So it's always been a transactional thing. But now that sort of transaction is even more compartmentalized and obscured through social media platforms. You know, they send like nude pictures, and you know, they get cash that they then take to go party or do whatever, like take trips to Los Angeles or, you know, whatever. It's the same thing, and I think that's pretty bad for people, because I think that, I don't know, I think a lot of people think that they're going to be like Belle Delphine or something, but they're not. Like, you're getting like $100 a month to send pictures of your boobies. Like, you're not making like 6 figures a month on Patreon. Anyways, that's a dark road to go down. I don't really want to get too deep into that. But yeah, basically, Instagram is evil. I think it's evil. It's a trap for sad and lost individuals, and it serves to validate their dumbest ideas and fantasies. It's also literal spyware, and makes it really easy for megacorps to use sick people as a vessel for marketing and corporate messaging. You know, like I said before, one of the things that makes Instagram so dangerous, in my opinion, is that no one really understands the culture surrounding the posting. No one knows what is real and what isn't. And as a result, everyone is reduced to the mental state of a literal animal. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone else that uses it. You know, there are successful and happy people that I went to college with. They just aren't on Instagram, and for good reason. Stay away from it, and I promise you, you will feel better about yourself. Look within, and you'll find more than you could ever find on a literal prostitution, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, hell shit fuck like Instagram. So with that, I'll leave you. Check out Gorefest. My man Don Jolly just put it together. You can find on this channel. He recently played a game of Gorefest with some guys, and it's really, really sweet. I believe you can find a link to buy the PDF. in the description of that video, and check out the Dagger forums. Like I said, you know, we only talk about the realest shit on there. It's really, really good. So yeah, just check out the other videos and Dagger Magazine, and keep it real. This is the Phantom Freak signing off.